Don't ever laugh as a hearse goes by, for you may be the next to die. They wrap you up in bloody sheets to drop you 6 feet underneath. They put you in a pine wood box and cover you up with dirt and rocks. It all goes well for about a week, and then your coffin begins to leak, and the worms crawl in, the worms crawl out, the worms play pinochle on your snout. They eat your eyes, they eat your nose as you begin to decompose. A slimy beetle with demon's eyes chews through your stomach and out your sides. Your stomach turns to rancid grease, and pus pours out like melted cheese. You spread it on a slice of bread, and that's what you'll eat when you're dead. And the worms crawl out, the worms crawl in, the worms that crawl in are lean and thin, the ones that crawl out are fat and stout. Your eyes fall in and your hair falls out, your brain turns into maggot pie, your liver starts to liquefy, and for the living all is well as you sink further into hell. And the flames rise up to drag you down into the fire where you will drown. Your skin melts off as you descend, and Satan tears you limb from limb. Your suffering will never end, and the worms crawl in, the worms crawl out. They'll eat your guts and then shit them out, and when your bones begin to rot, the worms remain, but you do not. So don't ever laugh as a hearse goes by, for someday you'll be the one to die. And when
All right, we back for round 2. I'm all fed. I'm good. Was gonna take a nap. Hey, what's going on, Jason? What's going on, Chuck? What's going on, Nicholas? What's going on, Ranger? And what is going on, Paris? Glad to see we got a nice little crowd getting back into it. Got myself all set up. Got my movie set up. I wish there was a way to sort of section off the movie audio from everything else. It's not groovy, it's gruesy. I remember that. Got my sweet tart gummies. Hey, what's going on, Nemesis? How you doing? I got my tiny ash ready to go. I mean, look at that. Oh, shit. Try to get him in the doorway. He's ready. Put him back here where he can keep me company. Watch over me. Hey, people try to keep it interesting. Which I might actually go through some Evil Dead scenes to figure out what kind of loops I would want for the green screen background. It's like the perfect song for this too, isn't it, Jason? So I guess I should go over to the commentary part. There we go. I even added the cabin to the background of this part. When do you think Ash got the book translated? I don't think he ever did. At least not on his own. Everything has been usually read by someone else or instructions told to him of what to say, which he fucks up. Like tape recorders and all that shit. Who made the song? Shit. I gotta look up the name again. Let me check it out. I do know it's based off melody from Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. Usually called the Hearst song. It is done by Rusty Cage. Oh, cat already beat me to it. Ah, damn, that catnip got you going quick. Where's my one border? I wanted to bring that just a little outside. There we go. I like that better. Yeah, the Deadites in this one are my favorite designs. As far as just being overall just very simplistic and scary, this one takes the cake. The over-the-top scary, to me, part 2 is the best out of that. And like Ash vs. the Evil Dead has sort of that weird mixture between the two. Oh, Jason Fantastic also knows it. It's like, wait a minute, it's a lot of Jasons going on here. I had to take a double look at that. All right. So, actually, you know what? Before we get started, let me jump over. Oh, thank you for the follow, Marfogel News. I have to say more. Marfogel? Marfogel? Marfogel. And you sent a diamond, too. Holy shit. Giving me all the new alerts that I got on D Live, as well as you guys probably already seen with Mixer, too. Oh, sent another one. Holy shit, man. We are starting off with a bang. All right. So now, as you guys know, I'm going to be doing the Evil Dead commentaries, starting with the first film. I videotaped Evil Dead. I let Sam take credit for it, though. You're a good man. Good man indeed. Thank you again for another one. And oh shit, I see someone, Booker M, followed me as well. Thank you for the follow as well. I got to see little Pennywise up there. Hey, what's going on, Devin? But yes, we are doing the Evil Dead series. I'm going to be doing the commentaries, watching this. The way this will work, obviously I cannot play this on the stream, the actual video. So for those joining for the first time for a commentary, the way this will work is it is up to you to get your copy in the DVD player, VHS player, Blu-ray player, Betamax, whatever the fuck you're watching this on. It's up to you to put it in. And I will give a countdown. My movie is already set. Oh, thank you again for another diamond. You're killing me with the generosity, my friend. You're killing me with it. I love it. I love it. Once I give the countdown, once I say play, you'll hit play, I'll hit play. We'll watch the movie together, and hopefully, if I make mention of something on my screen, it should match up with yours, unless you have some kind of special edition that I am not aware of, or gives it a couple extra scenes or anything like that. Then at that point, if I make mention of something, or you're watching something and something's happening, you're expecting me to make a comment about it, it's probably going to be thrown off for a bit. But ultimately, that's how it works. We give a countdown and sort of like synchronizing ourselves. Now, I was going to do Within the Woods. I think that was what the prequel was called. Or prequel, or not even really a prequel. It's essentially the early concept film of Evil Dead. But we're going to be watching the first Evil Dead. What was it, 1981, I think that was made. Then I would probably say Sunday we'll be watching Evil Dead 2. Then Monday and Tuesday will be gameplay streams, and then the following Sunday will be Army of Darkness. 2 more gameplay streams, and then after that, no gameplay streams for a while, because we're going to be going through the entire series of Ash versus the Evil Dead. We're going to be doing commentaries for all of that. So we're going to be doing, I'm shooting for 2 episodes per night to try to get through the entire series. But we'll see how it goes. I doubt it. Like with that, Robert. I mean, that shit is so old. I've only ever seen really, 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 really grainy, low quality copies. Oh, excuse me. How many episodes of Ash vs. the Evil Dead are you going to watch on stream? All of them. That's the goal. You doing the remake? Yes, I am doing the remake. But I will likely do the remake after the series to cap everything off. Because I don't want to go from Ash to no Ash back to Ash. I just want to get all the Ash done. So I got my fill of Ash, and then I can... Well, you can't ever get your fill of Ash. But, I'll go to pretty much the remake afterwards. But I did have some things I wanted to share. So for everybody that also gave me pictures to share for the Evil Dead stuff, I am going to be getting to all of those. I have a couple of things from all cosplayers and stuff like that. Some I've shared before, some I haven't. Tonight is not just an Evil Dead theme or anything like that. It's pretty much all over horror. But I will be getting to every single picture that you guys sent me over the course of the Evil Dead franchise. Because we got a lot of Evil Dead. And I need to spread out all the Evil Dead goodness all over. So if you don't see your stuff yet, and you didn't see it in the last one, don't worry, it's coming. JG's got you. We're all good. I got you covered. Not like we got you covered. Not like the website, but I seriously got you covered. Which I'm surprised with the remake, they didn't just remake Within the Woods as as sort of a concept for just that film. They could have just did that, and Evil Dead fans who know that particular film would have been happy with it. I would have felt like. I mean, granted, you still have no Ash, but ultimately, it would have been still in the wheelhouse. Like, if you'd have took Sam Raimi's original script for it, if he still had it, or just the general concepts of everything within it, and just going from there. Oh, I got the one thing you wanted me to share, Paris. I got the one thing. I got all your stuff. You're going to be all spread out throughout everything. So I'm going to be sharing everything. Just like maybe 1 or 2 things here and there. Like over the course. 'Cause like I said, we got a lot of Evil Dead to go. Now, where is my... I guess I didn't put that up there. Bring you down here because I do not want you to... All right. So the first thing I wanted to share, especially since it was brought up in not the last stream, but the stream last night, the Knights of Samaria ring. I did want to share that with you guys. I believe Brett sent something about it as far as in a comment. That is the Knights of Samaria ring he was talking about from the series. Now, granted, I know someone says something about a sex toy. Like I said, it's not meant to be a sex toy, but then again, any kind of prop that you get can be used as that. I mean, I've seen people do some weird shit with a Freddy glove. So, I mean, you never know. Well, I mean, I should say I bared witness to some things with a Freddy glove. I didn't partake, and I was very, 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 very disturbed and uncomfortable sticking around. But yeah, this is oh, they're actually doing a weathered patina. Oh, okay. I was wondering because this is, I believe, made, or at least it was. Where's my, okay, there's my thing. Al Berardi did the ring. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Wonder what it's made out of. I know when he's wearing it, it looks like a fucking Super Bowl ring. Like, that shit looks crazy. You partake that we all know it. I'm not proud of some things that I may have did. I mean, I sterilized it afterwards. But yeah, that's the Knights of Samaria ring. And then I wanted to... Oh, it's resin. What's the... Was it just acrylic paint over it? Because I'm wondering what the... what you would need to kind of clean it and keep it pristine. Now, another thing I need to sort of go back. When I did the last share, I shared some of Jason Smith's work, one of his chainsaw. I said it was a Ash versus the Evil Dead chainsaw. So I wanted to share this picture that he sent me. Let me actually blow that up a little bit so that way you guys can see it. It was actually an Army of Darkness chainsaw. So I figured I'd share this again, some of his work, his Army of Darkness chainsaw and Necronomicon. Hey, what's going on, Devin? Part 2. How you doing? Oh, with a clear coat over top. So it's not exactly like a stainless steel or anything like that. Okay. So I'm wondering how long that would be. Because I'm always thinking of, like, with something like that, I would want to wear everywhere. Like resin with the paint, I would probably want to more so display that than actually wear it, like, all the time. But yeah, that is Jason Smith's Army of Darkness chainsaw in Necronomicon. Which again, if you guys haven't been here before when I've done it, I am going to be putting all the links on the Hordes of Horror page and the community tab of the YouTube channel. Yeah, because I know with me, I do a lot of restaurant work. So I wouldn't want to wear it while doing that, like wiping down a table or putting my hands under a sink or anything like that. I definitely would not want that constantly under that kind of duress. All right. Next up, we have Paris's submission here. Got his power glove. Let me actually shrink that a bit. There we go. Got Paris's Ash versus the Evil Dead Power Glove. Like, especially knowing that he pretty much kept me in the loop on the step-by-step process of this. It looks awesome. So awesome, in fact. He had a particular person make a comment about it, which I got that screenshot as well, Paris. So let me jump over there for you. Let you guys sink in and read that a little bit. Which, I mean, that's awesome. That is like the equivalent of me being as big of a Jason fan as I am to getting a message from like Kane Hodder or even like Richard Brooker. Something like that. Like, I mean, RIP. But I'm just saying. The entire first movie is on YouTube for free, which is not... Yeah. Oh, yeah. I seen that. And, like, thanks to Buzzkiller, which is funny because I haven't seen him in a while. Outside of Facebook, I mean. All the Dawn of the Dead variations are on there, too. Which, gotta love that. But, yeah, like, Evil Dead, Within the Woods... I believe both of those are on there somewhere. That's right. Bruce fucking Campbell loves the glove. That is fucking all. When he sent me that, I was floored. I was floored for you. Like, literally. I was floored for you. I saw that you made a video on it. It popped in my feed, but I did not watch it yet. Let me take a look to see who else we got. Now, going into the more of overall horror, this is another one from Gina, which you guys know Gina. She's been in the Horrors of Horror Facebook group, all that. This is her Plague cosplay. Let me blow that up so that way you guys can see it. She has a couple other shots on there, but they're really dark, and I'm always apprehensive about taking the dark shots and putting them on here because I don't know if you guys can see it. Because I don't know if you're watching on a phone or a small screen laptop, tablet, or anything like that. So I try to go for the brighter ones for you guys to see. But she's got a ton of Plague cosplay stuff on there. For those that don't know, who haven't seen her shared on here before, she does an awesome Meg one too. Meg is who I've shared a good portion of. But yeah, this is her Plague costume. I was working my way around to actually getting to sharing this particular costume. She did an awesome job of it. And I think even on her Instagram, she has... at least from what I remember seeing, like on her stories, where she kind of goes step by step on certain progresses through the costume. She says, zoom in. Let's zoom in. That way you guys can... I'm all up in the way. That way you guys can kind of see as much as you can. She definitely knocked that out of the park. Which, again, if you guys haven't followed her on Instagram or checked her out, I will be leaving that link as well for you guys to... on the white part. Let's see. Looks like she got it weathered pretty well. Like the makeup job on the skin, like just the overall Plague look and knowing it from the game, she absolutely like killed that. All right, Jason. It gets no lower, my friend. Oh man. And Now let's see who we got up next. Now next we got another Dead by Daylight cosplayer, Lulu May, which hopefully I again am pronouncing that right. Of course, you got to show Huntress some love because I mean she's only hit me with 8 billion hatchets. I mean, granted, when Ash first came out, I did kind of harass Huntress all over the map. You guys, a good portion of you guys remember that. But I saw her as Huntress and I had to share it. Like this isn't even the best shot that she has. She has some really dark shots that I wanted to share, but I was afraid you guys wouldn't be able to see it. But I will be posting her Instagram link as well, so feel free to go show her all the love possible in all of her Huntress and other cosplays. Like, she does an amazing job. And next up, which this is more of a paint job than an actual cosplay. I mean, it cosplay too. But the paint job is what got me. Like, normally I go for the full costume shot and everything. But the way she did this paint job, it amazed me. Like, I love how she has the fingers. And you even look up on the forehead part where she has the skin wrinkles painted in. Like, when I saw that, I was like, that is fucking amazing. Like, I love that. Like, I get it's all paint, but the way she does it, it just resonated. Oh, I'm going to hit my microphone. I'm getting so excited with these paint jobs that I'm like hitting shit. I'm just Godzilla all over my whole setup. Like knocking everything over. But yeah, this is Katie Does Cosplay. Make sure I got that name right, because that would be embarrassing. Yep, Katie Does Cosplay, which I'll be leaving a link for her page as well. This is just the tip of the iceberg. She's got a ton of great shit on there. Not shit, but you know what I mean. Like, she's awesome. It's a term of endearment. But yeah, I'll be linking all of her stuff as well. Feel free to check her out. Give her a follow as well. Next up, we have someone that hasn't been shared, I think, since the first time we did it. And that's It's Riss in her Freddy Krueger costume. Now, the thing that drew me mostly to this is just everything that's perfect about it. It's literally the way she is in the shot. The costume itself looks great, especially as a female Freddy. And the special effects with the sparks on the wall, the spark is in front of her. It gave me that epic kind of feel to it that pretty much I would want to see this. It looks like it's in a movie, like a promotional shot for a movie. And I absolutely love it. Which, if you guys haven't followed her yet, hey, put some pants on. Not necessary for this one. But yeah, if you guys haven't followed her yet, be sure to do so. She's an absolute delight to chat with on at least when the messages we exchange back and forth on Instagram. She's an awesome person, great cosplayer, just all around great person. Feel free, follow her and check out all of her stuff. She actually does a very spot on Velma too. So yeah, definitely check her out. Then, the last on my list, of course, had to be a package deal with It's Riss, is Steel City Jason. I saw that because they did a Freddy versus Jason shoot together, and wow, like I said, this shot and the last shot is just the tip of the iceberg compared to what they have together. They got a ton of great stuff. And it's like they put out so much that I feel like I'm missing one or two shots here and there. So I have to go back and check their entire page just to make sure I'm giving them the proper love that they deserve on both of them. Because they both knocked that. Especially his Jasons are fucking ridiculously good. Like, I look at my hockey mask and like, brothers. But yeah, go ahead and give them both a follow. Steel City Jason, it's Riz, both of them, they're a package deal. So go ahead and give them both a follow. Which I'll be linking both of them as well. But yeah, that will do it for this round of sharing. Anything sent to me now will likely be coming to the next one. I know I got some from Paris that I'm still breaking up because Paris just gave me an entire photo catalog of things to share. I could probably do an entire share session of just everything that Paris sent me. So again, Paris, I'll be getting to everything. I just need to spread your love all around. As well as I think Jason said he sent me something. I'll be sharing that probably next week. I want to take a look at it. And then pretty much I'll be adding it to the share portion for next week's share. But yeah, that'll be it for the sharing for this week. So without further ado, we're going to jump over to the commentary part. Get set for some Evil Dead. Assuming you guys all have your movies ready. Do you? How long am I doing this? I am getting ready to start the movie, and the stream will end when the movie ends. But if I start the movie and you're making food, feel free to come back. I can give you a timestamp on where we're at in the movie. So at least it might not be identical, but it'll at least be around that general area. And again, just as a friendly reminder to everybody joining the channel, make sure you are hitting that like button. And if you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to do so. Share this video all over groups, pretty much anywhere you can share it at. Let's get the channel out there. Let's bring in some new family members. And let's get everything just a little bit more lively. But those likes definitely help and help the channel continue to grow. So with that, let me turn off my desktop audio. So unfortunately, you guys won't be able to hear the alerts as they're coming on, which I need to figure out how I can separate that. So that way my alerts stay on a separate thing. At the very, very least. But that is something I'll check out after the stream. Oh, excuse me. What's going on, Ty? Welcome back. We're just getting ready to start Evil Dead. Alright, so here we go. And we begin in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Play. So, I mean, I would assume that we're pretty much obviously seeing all this from the... I never noticed the car there in the water before. But, obviously the demons have to be still there from when Professor Nobi read the book before and translated it. And I wonder how much time is supposed to be between when Nobi translated the book and when they actually arrive. Because, I mean, wouldn't that seemingly indicate that pretty much to make the demons or deadites dormant again, all you have to do is leave the area for an extended period of time? And if they were still traversing through the woods, especially this far beyond the bridge, why did they never do what they did in Ash versus the Evil Dead and venture outwards and possess more people? Professor Nobi movie would be interesting. I mean, depends. Because, I mean, we've seen in Ash vs. the Evil Dead, pretty much Nobi finds the book and essentially tries to use someone to take the demon out of Henrietta. I mean, beyond that, I don't think there's too much of a story to really go with them. He's pretty much looking for the book, finds the book, and the book kicks him in the ass, essentially. Bruce looks so baby in it. Yeah, he looks hella fucking young. And the unibrow is always something that made me laugh, especially after seeing him later on. How far am I in? I am 3 minutes and 30 seconds. The cabin's a real cruel bitch. Very much indeed. That's such a good shot. Like, they don't have the music blasting or anything like that. That, like, moment where it was just, like, silent going through the woods at kind of really gives you that eerie kind of tone. So I wonder if the car that was in the water, was that Nobi's car? You would assume so, right? Because I don't think that was ever touched on. And I wonder if that's what in the remake that was kind of an homage to, when the one girl dries off in the car and it goes into the water. I love how they just like let Scotty go first. Like, go ahead, we'll catch up. Yeah, it's a bit creepy. Especially because it's still. After just like banging constantly into the cabin, and then it just stops. Completely still. Nothing. I haven't done that yet, Ty. I was thinking of doing it before, but I felt like that deserved its own thing at some point. So I may do it prior to Ash versus the Evil Dead. See, it's like this is what's kind of killing modern horror movies. Is you see how just that scene alone, where Ash and Linda and Shelly are just having that brief interaction, and they genuinely like each other. Like all of them, you could tell are friend. They have that friendly relationship, kind of chemistry. Nowadays, like if this movie was made again, which they even kind of did it in the remake, all the characters are mostly assholes. And a lot of that is like if you watch the Cinema Snobs last video that he put out with the remake Friday the 13th. And it makes complete sense to me now why they do it is because they know an audience likes to see an asshole get killed. While that's true, you can't make all of your characters assholes because then you just want the whole movie to die. The Evil Dead. Is that with the guy that has the chainsaw in his hand? The sequel, yes. This is the first film before that happens. Swedish cop. But you are right. It is that series. And welcome to the stream, my friend. So I wonder, which could be a future Dark Theories episode. Would the events still happen the exact same if they never used the tape recorder? Because obviously we hear the demon say, join us. We see what it's doing to Cheryl now, forcing her to draw a picture of the book. Oh, no worries. No worries, Swedish. No worries. Because all things seem to indicate that maybe that things would have still happened, just it would have took longer. Nemesis, we are at 9 minutes and 30 seconds. I remember hearing something about that Ranger, that the chainsaw was actually real. Go visit the cabin, but at his own rate. Didn't the cabin burn down like years ago? Like the actual cabin? Thought I remembered hearing that. What is this? That's basically what he says on Dead by Daylight. See, I mean, you can have one asshole character. Scotty pretty much fills that. I just checked it, Jason. There are 3 Jasons that haven't been added to the Friday the 13th game. You could only choose one of those 3. Which would it be? I mean, I know the most obvious answer would likely be Uber Jason. But, I mean, from a perk standpoint, that would be crazy because you would have to max out all of his stuff. Aside from maybe the water. Ultimately, though, the one that I would want more than anything is Ghost Jason from Never Hike Alone. Granted, most of the Jasons now you can kind of just throw skins on and be fine with that, except for Uber. Uber should have all of his stuff maxed out. Oh, that's yours. Oh, shit. Well, I have no doubt, Nemesis. Everything that he went through with the whole Deadite ordeal, I think definitely shaped his character from being the meek, kind of quiet guy, like just happy, to just essentially not giving a fuck. And ultimately, that's what allowed him to survive as long as he did. He went so crazy that he's now that person that runs headfirst into danger. Dude, I'm on YouTube.
Oh. I just was like, yeah. Like, hold on, strike that!
You're gonna give me a copyright strike, man.
You have like 30 seconds of like...
I don't know, man. They come to get you.
That was under 30 seconds. I was just saying, what's new, Pussycat?
Like, come in here and just get me a copyright strike, and then it's like head out.
Like, just bye, Pussycat.
Fucking curse of the panda.
Hey, judgmental, ignorant assholes.
I know.
Okay. You guys want to sit there and you want to call me, so I'm going to act like it.
It's Amanda Panda.
I left the building.
You prefer pre-Uber Jason from Jason X? I mean, that could work too. Excuse me. I mean, technically, though, that's like I said, you can make pre-Uber a skin on Part 7, and that would work out fine. We just have to kind of release them with a new kill pack, if they were ever going to do that. Am I dying on stream? No, I was eating a sweet tart jelly bean and it kind of got caught in the back of my throat. So to prevent my dying on stream, I had to sort of coax it back out. That is a good question, Nemesis. That is a very, very good question. So you wonder, just piecing together some of the evidence here, because obviously Professor Nobi read that translation, otherwise it wouldn't be on the tape. So if we're piecing together everything here, there's no blood or anything inside the cabin to indicate that there's anybody that's dead there. So would it have been that the car belonged to Professor Nobi that was at the beginning and they died there? Maybe just pretty much going off how I would put things together. What if Nobi read that and they didn't know Nobi was there? Nobi was already at the cabin, like maybe a day or two before. And the cabin itself, like he's trying to get away from the cabin and ends up dying and getting killed in the water. The car drives in the water and the demon kills him. And as it's going back, which is why we hear like flies buzzing, because it's a dead body. That is what it's supposed to indicate. Like it's seemingly the dead is there. And the demon is rising back up out of the water and heading back towards the cabin because that's where the book is. And pretty much just happens to inadvertently run into Ash and his friends on the way back to the cabin. Like, what if that is essentially what happened before the events of the movie? Like, Professor Nobi literally just died maybe a day or the night prior to Ash and his friends coming there. Which then begs the question, how the fuck did they even rent the cabin? Or did they just hear about the cabin and assume that nobody was going to be there? I did not deserve anything, Amanda. You're so panda-esque. The Panda-manda. Because then it kind of turns into... Yeah, in Ash vs. Evil Dead, Ruby did kill him, but that was also with them going back in time. But I think I talked about this in the Dark Theories before. I don't think them fucking with time the way they did in Ash vs. Evil Dead really has any kind of ramifications on their current timeline. I think it branched timelines. Because if that was the case and Ash went back in time, dealt with Professor Nobi then, and Henrietta, that changes the entire course of events of the films. So there's no way that it could have happened like that. Like, it would have had to have been a branching timeline. Like, everything in Ash's canon timeline still happens, but the timelines branch from the moment they step foot in, I think, 1982? I think it is. So that's what I'm thinking. Like, it had to have been that Nobi read from the book, translated it, and then the whole thing happened with Henrietta. He killed Henrietta, buried her in the fruit cellar, got in his car and tried to get away, and eventually the demons chased him, drove him off the road, and his car went into the water, and that's where he died. And it just so happens by the time all of this transpires and it takes place and Professor Nobi's dead, we come to the events of this film. Like the flies buzzing being indication that Professor Nobi's dead. It's his dead body that the flies are buzzing around. And the demon rises up out of the water where the Professor Nobi's body is and starts heading back towards the cabin. Say, YouTube's not working. It seems to be working on my end, Jason. I'm not entirely certain. But then again, I wouldn't doubt it the way the stream has been going as of late. Of course, about to come up on the infamous tree scene. It's freezing. I don't know, you may have to refresh it. Is it working on Facebook for you? She likes it. Because then, after Nobi dies, then the question is begged, to be asked rather, why are the demons not just coming after him as soon as they get to the cabin and sort of coaxing Cheryl into finding the book and pretty much leading Ash and Scotty and all them to the tape recorder? Which in that, you could kind of make the theory, which gets completely retconned in the sequels, that the original concept could have been that who's in earshot of the incantation becomes cursed by the incantation. Like Nobi and likely his wife, if you want to say his wife was there, because there's no indication that she was in the original film. But there could be an indication that it's almost like a Brendan Fraser mummy type scenario. Like if you're there at the time of the curse, then you are one of the targets. Oh, gratuitous boob shot. The tree scene. That tree is so juicy. Nah, Cheryl's pretty damn juicy. Hey, what's going on, Anthony? Ooh, actually hurts me a bit. That tree definitely has some wood, though. I don't know. I mean, It must have been good to the tree because all of a sudden the tree went from being able to hold her down to it just got weak after a while. Like, I'm good. See the tree back there lighting the cigarette? I bet, Cat. But yeah, I'm like thoroughly convinced that the car we saw in the beginning, right before the title card, or not right before right after the title card, that is definitely Nobi's car. Damn, that kind of makes me want to do a video on that about the whole Nobi thing. Fuck that. After that shit, I'm kind of like throwing myself at the door. Because, I mean, if you're not going to open the door, then fucking one of two things is going to happen. Either you're going to answer it before I break it down, or I'm going to break it down and it's going to get us all. Because I ain't going alone. Now, shouldn't have Ash saw like what was out there? Because, I mean, clearly Cheryl could see it. And in the films, in the TV show, everyone could see what's chasing them. I didn't notice that, Ranger. You have to remind me when I get to that episode. That way I can keep an eye out for it. Because you wonder in regards to Evil Dead 2. Because obviously, I've heard before where Ash says all you have to do is chop off the beginning of when they go to the cabin and Ash essentially takes off the head. Well, no, it would have been before he takes off the head of Linda, I believe. No, it would have been after because he takes her head off on this one. But he says that if you take off the beginning of Evil Dead 2 and put it on the end of this one, like right at the point where Ash gets grabbed up by the demon, flung through the woods, everything pretty much mixes together fairly well. It's not exactly accurate. There are some key things that you have to kind of disregard in order to fully believe that. Like one, the cellar, when the cellar door gets destroyed on here, and the front door gets destroyed at the end of this movie, like they're now intact in Evil Dead 2. So it's like certain key things that you can't do. So I'm wondering if the Deadites kind of fucked with Ash's mind to the point that he thinks certain things happen and it actually didn't. Sort of implanted memories Like he's remembering things differently than what they actually happened. And we're seeing the majority of Evil Dead 2 through Ash's eyes and what he thinks is actually real. Oh, Jason, I'm going to go back and I'm going to grab a screenshot of it. And then I'm going to compare notes after the stream. I'll send you a message, though. Oh, thank you, Chuck. Thank you. So I used this poster before. Just seemed fitting to use it for this film. I had a different one, but it just didn't pop the same way. And they look like they walked a good fucking distance from the car. See, that's another thing I'm kind of wondering. If the Deadites have enough power to twist that metal upwards and curl it back like that to take out the bridge. Okay, so he does mention the wife. Okay, so yeah, that does make sense. He does mention the wife. But if it's able to twist that to that extent, why can't it just burst into the fucking cabin and take all of them? Why can't kids nowadays make horror movies like this? They can. And there are some out there, but it's all independent. You can't really go for mainstream horror because mainstream horror isn't going to give you things like this. I remember seeing that as a kid, and that freaked me the fuck out. Now, it's the whole thing, like, when exactly did she become possessed? And that goes back to my theory video that I did, and one of my Dark Theories videos, that I believe a Deadite can possess you, but it needs you to be dead in order to stay in possession. I believe at point where Cheryl, the point in time when the tree raped her, she likely had some internal damage down there and likely bled internally. I think at this point, Cheryl was dead. Very dead. And the demon was already inside of her, knowing that she was dying and lying in wait. But the whole thing is, why the Deadites need you dead? It can take possession of you when you're alive. But because your human soul is present, it battles against the Deadite spirit. and ultimately allows the human soul to actually fight to regain control of the body, like we see with Ash when Ash gets possessed, and even Linda to an extent. But we saw like Cheryl. If we take my theory with her having internal bleeding and bleeding out internally and dying, then at this point she's dead. So the Deadite has complete control over her. But Linda, when she gets stabbed in the ankle, the spider webbing that we see coming outwards, that's sort of the Deadite indicating that that wound is infected and is trying to fucking spread the infection as fast as it can supernaturally in order to kill Linda. And that's why we get a moment when Linda actually breaks from the possession. But eventually she does die like the rest, and the Deadite takes full control. Same thing with Scotty. You look at Scotty on here, the moment he dies, he pops back up as a Deadite, never regains control of his body. Shelly, she gets grabbed by the demons through the window, and then she pops back up as a Deadite. We don't know if whatever the demon did to her actually killed her. We can assume so. But she doesn't last long enough for us to really find out one way or the other anyways. A demon cum dinner. Oh man, that'd be so sticky. It'd be like tree sap. I just realized that. Oh my gosh. Because now that's giving me a fucking visual, Jason, of like the tree sap closing things up like at the point of entry and having the internal bleeding. So no one would ever know that she's bleeding because it's essentially glued shut. Oh man, that's stuck in my head now. Alright, she looks dead, but goddamn, she smells like a Christmas tree. Oh, I imagine Paris. That pencil scene. Granted, it's not the most painful scene that I've ever like seen. Does make me cringe a little bit, but I can still watch it. However, the record for that, for me, of all time, is the eyeball scene from Lucio Fulci's Zombie. The eyeball scene, I cannot watch at all. I saw it one time, and every time it pops up, I'm not watching it again. Did you realize you could do like a ghost slasher movie like this? Same tone and everything. Oh. Yeah, bullshit. Like, you hear a window breaking and your girl screaming. You're not walking that slowly in there. Me personally, I'd kind of be like running in. Not because I'm a hero or anything. It would just be the fucking like first thing to pop. Like, what the fuck happened? Like, just running and like going to check it out. But then again, this is after fucking Cheryl transformed. So, I mean, I guess you could be a little apprehensive. What'd you miss? Pretty much we're at the 42-minute mark. Like, just talking about tree ejaculation inside of Cheryl. The Kandarian demon is Mongolian throat singing. Accurate. Oh. Gotta love those effects, man. Although I don't know if I could have wore those contacts. Juicy tree sap. Like, why is Cheryl always at that scene? Kind of looks like, what the fuck is she doing? She's supposed to be one of us. JG is thinking intensely. Indeed. Indeed. Looks like the knight from Scream. Ooh. Like that. Did she snap his neck? Is that what that, like, crick was? I mean, you should have at least got, like, whiplash from that, right? I can't stop thinking about the tree scene. I mean, the whole aspect of the sap just gluing things together, that has me just all fucked up. Say, that brings me back to my theory with the Kandarian dagger and like what it was supposed to be used for here, where it seems to indicate in Ash vs. Evil Dead that it was meant to use the fucking meant to be used to kill the Deadites, but here we see the steam and the blood coming out of the dagger. I think it was used for human sacrifice in order to kill the person, release the soul, and give the body over to the Deadite. Which seems to be indicated with like the milky substance coming out of their mouth and her hand wound and everything. It's basically the body fully being given over to the Deadite. Because, I mean, what else would it be used for? It obviously doesn't fucking kill him. Outside of going against Kandar the Destroyer. Said maybe fractured it? Maybe. Because that was a mean-ass fucking crack. And he's not showing, like, any indication of that shit hurt. Granted, it might be adrenaline. Oh man, those effects are fucking killer. But although didn't he just chop into her wrist and her hand is still like intact, sticking up? Did I just notice that? And her hand still is kind of intact there. Those twitches. It's even twerking. What the fucking dagger inside of her back? Said the dagger is a failsafe made by the Dark Ones. I mean, maybe. But I mean, is it only a viable weapon when held by the Dark Ones then? Because it only has ever been really seen to kill Deadites when Ruby wielded it. Something like a word that means hold it. Wielded is what I meant to say. Too disturbing for me, Tree Seed. Because, I mean, we saw Scotty stab her with it. We see Ash later on stab Linda with it. In both instances, they don't die. But we did see Ruby use it in Ash vs. Evil Dead, and it seemed to have a completely different effect on Deadites that we've never seen before. Like, literally just sliding it across them sort of bubbled their skin and, like, burned them and hurt them, like, badly. I mean, I would assume Ty, because I believe Bruce Campbell does get... He's the possessed one in Within the Woods, if I remember right. Never realized since I saw it... Like, this is my first time really watching it in HD. But Ash already has the scar on his chin. Which, did they actually... I thought I remembered hearing them, they worked that in to part 2, when he's, like, bleeding from wounds. That it was essentially a scarring on there for that. In the book, there's a page that has multiple daggers. Really? That would make sense, considering the dagger has changed as much as the Necronomicon. I would very much want to see that page. If you can find that page, Paris, feel free to send me a screenshot of it. This is what I mean here. Like, it was probably already getting infected, but the Deadite started supernaturally charging the infection and spreading it through her leg. And prematurely took control of the body before the infection was enough to actually kill her. I don't know. I gotta say, Linda's the creepiest of all of them, though. I mean, annoying, too. Oh, man. Could you imagine Linda? Like, they remade this, like, shot for shot, and Linda played... It was played by Sherry Moon Zombie. Can you imagine the annoyance levels, like, shooting... Like, beyond the stars on that one. Oh, please do, Paris. Please do. Dude, you can see his bone sticking out of his arm. Holy shit. Oh, God. Like, Cheryl's face just, like, changing, like, being so animated like that with the makeup on. That looks good. And, like, the makeup itself looks like it was done with literally, like, liquid latex and toilet paper. But it's still very effective and good. Yeah, apparently the trees just, like, they jumped on his ass like he was walking through the wrong neighborhood. Question is, did they rape him too? Because I know he pulls out a branch out of Scotty later on. But is that the entry or exit wound that he pulls it out of? Tell you, she's the prototype to Sherry Moon Zombie. I wonder if Rob Zombie has to do that from time to time. I shouldn't say that. But where Sherry Moon Zombie just starts laughing like that, like when Ash just like paintbrushes her. Like, stop laughing! And she just does the same thing. Granted, she might be into it rough. You never know. See, I think here, this was the last moment we see her alive. Like, the Deadite probably crept back in because she was fighting for control of her body. And it decided to go inward again and further spread the infection in order to kill her off quicker. So by the next time we see her, she's dead. She's gone. Hey, what's going on, Chase? How you doing? Who remembers that part from my story concept? I'm all right now. I'm all right. Welcome back, Jason. So, this is kind of indicating either the Deadites are extremely cocky or really stupid. Because, I mean, if Cheryl would have just transformed to her human, like her human appearance, sort of like Henrietta did, he would have unlocked the chains and she would have got out and fucking Ash would have been dead. So yeah, here I would say that Linda's actually dead. I have nothing really to indicate that on, but I would assume that at this point she's actually dead. I like to think they're assholes. I mean, that's accurate. Oh, shit. Multitasking, Jason. Oh, she looks creepy as shit there in that scene. Like, just drag her outside. All right, I'm going back inside. You stay out here, you creepy little bastard. Like, she's never going to fucking come back. Like, she literally, you just seen these other monsters trying to kill you. I was going to say, for a moment, it looked like his unibrow disappeared. Gotta return some Redbox movies. That's a good excuse, Ty. Yeah, because it can't be the same blade, because we saw in Ash vs. Evil Dead, just touching a Deadite with the blade bubbled their skin. So, and she's flat out licking the blade here. They paint me like one of your French girls. It's accurate. It's an accurate assessment of her makeup job. So I wonder why her makeup stayed kind of like that and everyone else was like their skin was literally being ripped off their face. Because I would want to know what would happen if one of them actually willingly joined. Which, how many of you guys watched my story concept with that? Like at the end. Like, how'd you like that ending? With the main character actually accepting the invitation. So you already know that that doesn't kill him. So grab the fucking axe and start getting to work. Apart, we are currently 1 hour and 25 seconds in, right when he is dragging Linda back out to I assume this is when he buries her. Cheryl's like, fuck you, man. Oh no, he's taking her to the shed with the chainsaw. Linda wasn't dead before, she is now. Yeah, pretty much. There's the chainsaw. Got to get a screenshot of that so I could look at it with Jason's chainsaw. Do I think Ash ever got over what happened at the cabin? No. That's pretty much the point of his character in Ash vs. Evil Dead. He's still a complete idiot reading from the book, but ultimately he's still haunted. He's not even so much that he's haunted. It's literally, it defined his entire life. He's taking her to the shed. All Ash wanted was to go to Jacksonville with Linda. Those contacts are still creepy as shit. I know you can't see shit with them on, but they're still creepy as shit. He like give her a bath before he took her out there? Because she went from like face full of blood to like completely all clean faced. Blood's not exactly that easy to clean up. Especially that much of it. So why didn't she just attack him there? Because maybe tiring him out, letting him dig the grave and then bury her? Am I ever going to make more Dark Origins? I want to get back into doing them. Because there are some I still want to do. I want to do Chucky. I want to do Pinhead from Hellraiser. I want to do Candyman. I want to do a bunch of them. But it's like I start putting together Origins video and then I start thinking of theories videos that spawn from the Origins one. And then I start fucking getting so distracted with the theories videos that I forget all about the Origins. Oh man, she's got saber-tooth claws. That just looks like that fucking hurts. Just popped her in the fucking head. So I believe here, that's when he's like breaks it in half and he's like holding it together while he's hitting her. Speaking from experience there. I may have had my own blood issues. Oh. It's like she's holding his mouth open for the blood to gush in. Yeah, she was pretty much skinning his fucking leg. See, that would be another difference going into Evil Dead 2 also if you watched only this. Because as you see, he didn't rebury her. But in Evil Dead 2, after he goes back to the cabin, he's sitting in the rocking chair, her body eventually rises back up out of the grave. So you do kind of have to disregard the whole... there's a couple of things you would have to cut out in order to make Evil Dead 2 fit. There's some things you would have to cut out of here in order to make Evil Dead 2 fit. Ashy slashy. Now, Devin, I thought I just said. I don't think he ever got over it. I think it ultimately defined his life. He just like blow off half of her body. He shot her so hard she turned into one of the aliens from Star Wars. Ooh. Holy shit. You heard the shotgun was real too? That one I don't know. I did hear about the chainsaw, but I don't know about the shotgun. So you mean to tell me Cheryl just let him do all this and never just broke through one of those fucking flimsy ass windows and just walked in? Just bathing in blood. The shotgun was real too? I mean, it would kind of make sense. It wasn't exactly like how it is today, where you can find a prop weapon that looks real and get it at the prices that we can get today compared to what they would have been back then. Based on like with the budget that they probably had, they probably just got it from I would assume one of them or one of their family members had it. But that's part of the draw of low budget horror, is that they're forced to make so many cuts in certain areas that it ultimately turns into gold because of it. The ingenuity and the creativity of working around your limitations is what makes these kind of movies. Now, a lot of filmmakers don't have to do that because they know horror is so lucrative, especially if you are able to create a franchise, that they're willing to throw a couple $1 million at it. You don't get too many movies out of the independent market that's just on a couple $1,000s. Yeah, when they're like bleeding out of the pipes, Nemesis. I see Nemesis and it just makes me think. Just a little while longer, we'll be on RE3. I can't wait. So I was telling Chad earlier when I was doing Dead by Daylight, I have that game for Xbox and I do want to stream it, but I may buy it for PC too, just so I can stream it in its highest quality for you guys. Especially since you guys missed out on me playing Resident Evil 2. I mean, technically I could use my Xbox app to stream it over, but it's sort of like a bit of a lag between my Xbox going to my computer, and I wouldn't want to do that. Like, I'd much rather just buy the game outright. Yeah, I'll buy it 2 times, but fuck, it's Resident Evil 3. It deserves it. Fuck it. You have a pre-order too. Nice, nice, nice. I figured you would. Anybody with the name Nemesis most certainly would have Resident Evil Nemesis pre-ordered. Especially because I know how you feel about that game. I can't wait for it. Knowing that you're no longer safe even in safe rooms, that's going to give me so much fucking anxiety. I just think, can you imagine a Evil Dead game with that Resident Evil engine? Could you imagine being in the Nobi cabin like that? Did I do a commentary on Wes Craven's New Nightmare? I did. Hey, what's going on, CM? How you doing? You heard it's certain save areas. Really? I thought it was all of them. That makes me a little less anxious. So sort of like the main area in the police station on the RE2 remake, where Mr. X can follow you in there. And hello as well. I just imagine that would be so awesome. Doing not even, you don't even have to create a new story. Just give us a video game adaptation of Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2 with that engine. You can take some liberties as far as like making it scarier and stuff like that. But God, that shit would be fucking awesome. Do I think blood even shocks Ash anymore? I think now he's just fucking tired of getting splattered on him, which kind of matches Bruce's sentiment, having blood splattered on him. Just poking her fucking face through the hole. Oh, I've been good, CM. I've been good. Took a week off and just started back, I believe, Sunday. We jumped back on the streaming train. Got my new PC set up. I don't know if anything looks any different to you, but things are running a bit smoother, especially the gameplay videos. Which feel free to check out the Dead by Daylight stream I did today and yesterday. He's got his ass way up there. Ooh, eyeball scene. Ooh. Ooh. Ah. I tell you, we don't know if that's an entry or exit wound. Because, I mean, it's obviously in his stomach. Ash just pulled that out of Scotty. That could have very easily went up somewhere else and came out that way. Always thought that necklace is ugly. Wasn't the original ending he was supposed to use the sunlight to magnify, sort of focus the sunlight onto the Necronomicon, and that's how they were going to burn it? I remember hearing that. I was like, you know how fucking long that would take? Why is Scotty's hair gray? It seems like when a Deadite possesses you, outside of Linda, that it starts decaying everything that is you. once you start decaying, your hair does turn gray because the hair is dead. So that would be my only thing with it, is that because of them actually being dead and gone, which is another indication between Linda when she was alive and Linda when she's dead. Like Cheryl, her hair changed instantaneously because of how dead she was. Knowing that Scotty's dead, it probably did the same thing. If that makes any sense. He got raped by a tree. Pretty much. So she was beating him with the blunt end of the poker? Would that kind of defeat the purpose of having the poker? I love the stop motion. That I remember first seeing that. I was like, dude, that shit looks fucking nasty. But I love it. What system I got? I have a gaming PC, but I also have an Xbox that I play on. My gaming PC that I just got, I am running a i7 9700K processor with a 2080 RTX 20 Super graphics card with 32 gigs of RAM. So I'm pretty much good to go on practically any game. Oh, that looks so fucking nasty. You made it with 1 minute to spare. That's very true. Like if Ash would have gotten the infection like Linda did, or why didn't the Deadites use that same technique on Ash in order to spread the infection supernaturally in order to take him over? Oh, that'd have been my same reaction in that same tone of voice. Oh my god, that just looks nasty. Looks like that one bug in the middle is like doing a nosedive into the shit. Though the Xbox in the trap, I can't. I've been an Xbox person for life, my friend. I used to be a PlayStation person, but ever since the first Xbox, I went Microsoft, never going back. Although PlayStation does have some titles that I really, really want to play, like Until Dawn. But other than that, there's not too many other titles that I would really, really give up my Xbox for. Ash is as thick as a bowl of oatmeal. But even now, like pretty much even having my Xbox, I've been slowly, well not slowly, I've been very, 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 very quickly transitioning to just PC. Now, the only thing is I've been still stuck on the controller. But once I make the transition to keyboard and mouse, I don't know when I would ever really touch my Xbox again outside of maybe exclusive titles. Oh yeah, Nemesis. Ever since the original Xbox, I've been stuck on that. N64 person right here. I had a Nintendo 64. Not gonna lie, I loved it up until I had WWF No Mercy. And I got so frustrated because I would create all kinds of wrestlers and I would go through all the storylines, get all the unlockables, and my fucking memory unit always fucking reset everything. And I thought it had to have been a glitch or something with the game itself or the system itself, because I switched memory units a dozen times and it never fixed it. And that, for as much as you guys may know, pretty much after that scene is where my story picks up and my concept. Yeah, that is The Evil Dead. I'm an Xbox man myself. Always glad to meet him. Let me get that. Oh shit, I still got Jason up there. You bring that down. But yeah, that was Evil Dead. Always love watching that. Oh yeah, let me know. Did you guys finish watching it? Did you want to watch? Well, not did you, but does that make you want to rewatch my story concept afterwards? You know, wink wink, nudge nudge. Get the views up. Hey, if Bella earlier can give a shameless plug to her YouTube channel, I can give a shameless plug to one of my videos. But alright guys, that's going to do it for me for tonight. I'm glad you guys stuck around for me for the 2 streams I did. Well, technically 3, because I had to cut 1 short in order to reset some things and then jump back on. But yeah, definitely had fun streaming with you guys. And now you guys get an idea of what I mean, that I can jump on practically at any time. So streaming, you never know. Like, I could stream tomorrow. I could stream Thursday. I could stream Friday. Well, I'm definitely streaming Friday. Friday the 13th. I got to. I'm not sure the exact time when, because I do work Friday. And typically, Fridays run a little late for me. So I'm going to try to get out of work, come back, and I may jump into costume. You never know. But it being Friday the 13th, we're going to actually be watching on the screen Never Hike Alone. So yeah, if you guys want to, if you're not subscribed, be sure to subscribe so that way you don't miss that. If not, make a note of it somewhere. I'm going to be watching Never Hike Alone to get us ready for Never Hike in the Snow, which I believe Vincente DeSanti was saying on his Womp Stomp pages. He does have up until Friday the 13th, if you guys want to support Never Hike Alone on his Indiegogo pages. So make sure you guys are, if you want to help them at any point, make sure you guys are going over, dropping some dollars on it to keep the Never Hike Alone franchise going as much as they can. Say it's a franchise because it technically is. He's trying to give us multiple things. So if you guys want to donate, be sure to jump over to his Indiegogo. I do not have the link, but I will be sharing the link for his Indiegogo in his page on the community tab, as well as the Hordes of Horror page. That being said, I'm going to go ahead and jump off here, and I hope to see you guys Friday when we watch Never Hike Alone. And, as always, I am JG Darhk, and thanks for watching.
Don't ever never laugh as a hearse goes by, for you may be the next to die. They wrap you up in bloody sheets to drop you 6 feet underneath. They put you in a pine wood box and cover you up with dirt and rocks. It all goes well for about a week, and then your coffin begins to leak, and the worms crawl in, the worms crawl out, the worms play pinochle on your snout. They eat your eyes, they eat your nose as you begin to decompose. A slimy beetle with demon's eyes chews through your stomach and out your sides. Your stomach turns to rancid grease, and pus pours out like melted cheese. You spread it on a slice of bread, and that's what you'll eat when you're dead. And the worms crawl out, the worms crawl in, the worms that crawl in are lean and thin, the ones that crawl out are fat and stout. Your eyes fall in and your hair falls out, your brain turns into maggot pie, your liver starts to liquefy, and for the liver